पाकिस्तान के मीडियम वेव नेटवर्क
अस्सलाम वालेकुम। जावेद खान जदून प्रोग्राम फोरम के साथ। फोरम आपके लिए पेश करता है सुनो एफएम नेटवर्क और रेडियो पाकिस्तान। आज हम बात करेंगे एक दफ़ा फिर से भारत की जो मिलिट्री लीडरशिप है उसकी तरफ से इंतहाई डिल्यूजनल स्टेटमेंट, और ये स्टेटमेंट इशू की भारत के जो DGMO हैं लेफ्टिनेंट जनरल राजीव गाय, उन्होंने यूनाइटेड नेशंस के एक फंक्शन में बात करते हुए एक न्यू दिल्ली के अंदर ये कहा कि भारत ने पाकिस्तान के 12 एयरक्राफ्ट को तबाह किया। ये एक इंतहाई डिल्यूजनल, एक इंतहाई फैब्रिकेटेड, एक फॉल्स क्लेम है जो कि अपनी पॉलिटिकल क़यादत को अपीस करने की एक कोशिश नज़र आती है। इससे पहले भारत की जो एयर फोर्स के चीफ हैं AP सिंह, उन्होंने भी इसी तरह का एक डिल्यूजनल क्लेम किया, और ये क्लेम भी आप इस वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग टू नोट के कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ख़त्म होने के महीनों बाद ये क्लेम किए जा रहे हैं कि हमने पाकिस्तान के इतना नंबर ऑफ फाइटर प्लेन्स को नुकसान पहुंचाया। जनरल राजीव गाय ने फर्दर ये कहा कि भारत की जो नेवल फोर्सेस हैं वो हमने डिप्लॉय कर दी थी, और फिर पाकिस्तान ने इसके ऊपर सीज़ फायर रिक्वेस्ट की। ये भी फैक्ट्स के कॉन्ट्रेरी है। तमाम दुनिया ने पाकिस्तान के क्लेम्स को एक्नॉलेज किया जब जंग ख़त्म हुई, 4 रोज़ा कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ख़त्म हुआ, और भारत के किसी क्लेम को भी जो क्रेडिबिलिटी है वो नहीं मिली। पाकिस्तान ने बिल्कुल शुरू में कॉन्फ्लिक्ट के बिल्कुल 24 आवर्स के अंदर अंदर पाकिस्तान ने बताया कि उसने भारत के 5 फाइटर प्लेन्स को गिरा दिया। फिर ये क्लेम भारत की तरफ से ना तो डिनाइल आई ना एक्सेप्टेंस आई, लेकिन बाद में जो फैक्ट्स हैं उन्होंने साबित किया कि पाकिस्तान का क्लेम क्रेडिबल क्लेम था। वो तमाम दुनिया ने, ग्लोबली गवर्नमेंट्स ने, थिंक टैंक्स ने और न्यूज़ मीडिया ने उसको एक्सेप्ट किया, और भारत के किसी भी क्लेम को उन्होंने एक्सेप्ट नहीं किया। अब ये क्यों इस तरह के बयानात आ रहे हैं? एक तो ये कहा जा रहा है कि बिहार और बंगाल के अंदर जो इलेक्शंस होने वाले हैं, और ये पॉलिटिकल लीडरशिप यानी BJP की क़यादत उनको इस्तेमाल करते हुए इस तरह के बयानात दिलवाना चाह रही है। लेकिन भारत के अंदर ही उनके अपने थिंक टैंक्स के लोग, उनका मीडिया, उनके जो रिस्पेक्टेड एनालिस्ट हैं, वो भारत के बारे में अपनी ओपिनियन कायम कर चुके हैं कि इस 4 रोज़ा कॉन्फ्लिक्ट के अंदर पाकिस्तान ने टोटली आउट मैनूवर किया, भारत को आउट क्लास किया, और इस जंग के तमाम जो नताइज हैं वो पाकिस्तान के हक़ में गए। ख़ासतौर पे जो एयर बैटल हुई जिसमें 120 प्लेन्स उसमें शामिल थे इस जंग के अंदर, और ये कहा जाता है कि 21st सेंचुरी की सबसे बड़ी एयर बैटल लड़ी गई। उसमें तमाम दुनिया ने इसको कहा कि एक टेक्स्ट बुक एग्जाम्पल है कि कैसे पाकिस्तान ने भारत की एयर फोर्स को आउट क्लास करते हुए उनके जहाज़ों को उड़ते ही उनको तबाह कर दिया। ये फैक्ट्स पाकिस्तान ने जो बयान किए, इसकी एक्नॉलेजमेंट पूरी दुनिया ने की। इस तरह के जो बयानात के बाद कल पाकिस्तान आर्मी के इंटर सर्विसेज पब्लिक रिलेशंस की तरफ से जो बयान जारी हुआ, उसमें कहा गया कि ये जो भारत की क़यादत के डिल्यूजनल, फैब्रिकेटेड, प्रोवोकेटिव प्रोपेगेंडा है, ये इंडिया की मिलिट्री लीडरशिप के ऊपर एक बहुत बड़ा क्वेश्चन मार्क है कि अपने आप को दुनिया में उन्होंने लॉफिंग स्टॉक बना के छोड़ दिया, क्योंकि वो भारत की पॉलिटिकल क़यादत की जो इंटरेस्ट हैं उनको सर्व करते हुए नज़र आते हैं। ये भी कहा गया कि एक बॉलीवुड का स्क्रिप्ट नज़र आता है, जैसे बॉलीवुड की मूवीज़ बनती हैं तो उनकी जो मिलिट्री क़यादत है, और ये कहा गया कि वो एक न्यूक्लियर कंट्री की मिलिट्री है, प्रोफेशनल आर्मी है, वो कैसे अपनी पॉलिटिकल क़यादत के हाथों में खेल रही है, अपनी रेपुटेशन को भी स्टेक पे लगा दिया है, अपने मुल्क की रेपुटेशन को भी स्टेक पे लगा दिया। इस सब्जेक्ट के ऊपर बात करने के लिए हमने दावत दी स्टूडियो में मेजर जनरल रिटायर्ड रज़ा मोहम्मद साहब, और इनसे आज हम बात करेंगे। Let me start in English because this show is in English. I wanted the people of Pakistan and the people of India to understand what we are talking about, why this important subject we have taken. And thank you so much, General Raza. You have given time.
Thank you so much for inviting us.
Now, what the ISPR said is very important to note that a professional army like Indian Army, India is basically nuclear state and very strong armed forces, professional armed forces. Now they have started playing in the hands of their political leadership because the two upcoming elections in Bihar and Bengal. Serving the interest of the country is one thing, while serving the interest of a particular political party is something else. Isn't it kind of ridiculous claims they are making now, making them a laughingstock in the global community, while these highly exaggerated claims, rather fabricated claims?
Shukriya Jadun sir for taking me into your, inviting me into your program. I think I'll begin from where you left. Actually, they are creating a situation of embarrassment at the international level for themselves. If you see, if we just take the example of the planes, which they have claimed, now they have brought it to 12. Initially it was 0, then they came to 5 to 6 planes,
then 7.
And now recently they have said that they have downed or they have destroyed 12 fighter jets of Pakistan. Today's world is very transparent. You are a person from media, you know it. Had it been First World War and Second World War era, then you could have actually listened to and believed this propaganda. But today's world is very, very transparent. People have the watch through satellites, people see the areas. When we say that the aircrafts were down, we saw those on social media of the Indian people also, that they were sending those pictures. Secondly, all these planes have an inventory, and inventory has the back channels as well. For example, F-16. So America has all the inventory recorded. In case if any aircraft goes down, it will be told. Second thing is about the seats. We discussed it before also. There is a company, Dassault, UK company. They make the ejection seats for the aircraft, and they are famous in the world. Whenever some aircraft is hit and the ejection seat is used or ejected, so it goes to their record. So I think they are making a mockery of themselves.
Mockery of themselves.
And the first thing which you said was that it is a politicized military. There is no doubt that this military has been politicized. When you politicize the military, you promote people on the basis of political loyalty and even the loyalty to the Hindutva, then their professional capabilities are not at all a consideration for their promotion and appointment. And they are just there to appease their masters. So that is how this is happening. About Navy, I would like to say one thing. Navy, the capstone, I would say, the feather in their cap is the aircraft carrier Vikrant. They brought it forward, and then in the scare that it would be hit by Pakistan Navy and Air Force, they pulled it back and they took this aircraft carrier into rear, much beyond where the strikes could take place.
Right.
So they were actually very scared from the Navy also. So they never came to the seas. Their Navy was prepared or not prepared. I think our Navy was better prepared, that it could deter actually their coming closer to the Pakistani coast. They never had a heart to engage any naval ship or naval platform of Pakistan. They had never ability or capability, or they did not demonstrate any ability or capability by attacking any naval base of Pakistan. So how can they say that they were very well prepared in the Navy also? Last point, it's up to them. It's lies and lies. They're speaking lies and lies again, and they're multiplying the lies. As they always say, the lies don't have, in Urdu they say, lies don't have the feet to walk. So they are trying to cover all this embarrassment through their lies and false claims and false statements.
But very interestingly, if you recall an interview by the CDS, General Chauhan, that was in Singapore, he acknowledged that when the question was asked by Bloomberg, he said, yes, not important how many planes went down, but important is why they went down. He admitted, in not so many words, but admitted the loss of planes, but he never made a claim that Pakistani fighter planes were also downed. Secondly, the Deputy Chief of Army Staff of India, he also acknowledged Pakistan's very effective use of ISR, intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance. He said that Pakistan was using satellite, though that was a false claim that American satellites were being used. But he added something. He said, we don't have the proof for that, but we believe that Pakistan was using the Chinese satellite. He acknowledged Pakistan's very, very effective use of ISA, which ultimately, and multi-domain warfare, which even Americans wanted to know, the Chinese wanted to know how Pakistan made it possible. So it was a very brilliant tactical move on part of Pakistan, and now being even considered to be taught in the defense universities as well. So now all of a sudden, as you pointed out, two very senior army officers not making these claims, and after so many months, the air chief started making a very, very ridiculous claim that we shot down, or rather destroyed in the air and on the ground. But going for to serve the political interest is not going to serve the interests of India. Would it be correct?
Very right. It will not serve the interest of India, but it will serve the interest of Hindutva, and it will serve the interest of BJP and Modi Sahib. Because whenever the elections come, you gave it in your intro about the Bihar and other elections which are going to come, they always try to escalate the situation. Sometimes they brought forces to the border, and this has been a cycle which has been repeated over the years, over the decades, that whenever they have elections in their country, they must escalate the situation on the borders, or escalate the situation with Pakistan, or conduct a false flag operation, blame Pakistan, and make this a casus belli to act as they did in Balakot and all that.
And Pulwama and Pahalgam.
And then, Pahalgam. So it is always there that they make an excuse to use these things for their elections. Number two, about the aircrafts, again, coming back, you very aptly indicated, and not indicated, you aptly said that their own very, very senior officers, 4-star generals, have accepted this loss, not in the figures but in notion, and he said so, that it is not important how many planes did we lose, but important why did we. And about the use of the technology, when they say that we used the help of Chinese satellite, maybe we used, maybe we did not, but they had the availability of intelligence of 5 countries.
Right.
They have the best of the best technology of the world with them. They buy weapons, they buy technology from USA, UK, Israel, France, and so many other countries. For Pakistan, all these equipments are banned. We are not allowed to. It is recently that some relaxation has been announced by a company in United States, I think Raytheon company, that Pakistan can buy the missiles from them. But for past 2 decades, for example, even if we had money and we wanted to buy some European or American equipment, even our equipment which was manufactured in some other country and had an engine or some component from United States or some European country, it was denied to Pakistan. So when we compare this thing, they had best of the best technology, they had the best of the best weapons,
correct,
and they had the assistance of the 5 Eyes also. In our case, we had the capability which we indigenously developed, and we
correct,
also had the help, I think, from China, which is not a bad thing. Whenever you have the friends, if they were being helped physically by Israelis who were sitting inside India and operating the drones against Pakistan, how can they claim that Pakistan was having help and all that?
And General Razam, most importantly, CDS Chauhan also admitted that our Air Force remained grounded for 48 hours. That was a massive, massive admission of failure on part of India. And nobody less than the Chief of Defense Staff is saying that. And that was, of course, and obviously, because of Pakistan's air superiority, Pakistan's complete control of the air at those particular times. So that admission is also an admission of failure, admission of defeat, and admission of Pakistan's air superiority, isn't it?
It is. And first of all, I would like to say this thing, that I have read lots of military history, and none where I found this, that a country ordered its air force to be grounded for 48 hours and go back beyond the range where they could be targeted. So that means they were left out of battle intentionally. They were LOBs, military term, in military term, number one. Number two, it was Pakistan's counter-offensive. Why I say counter-offensive? Because Pakistan did not start the war. And within counter-offensive, it was kind of a blitzkrieg type of operation which Pakistan conducted. And within 1 to 2 hours of the reaction of Pakistan Air Force and ground, the Indian command structure was paralyzed. They were actually frozen in the time. They were frozen in their decision-making system, and the whole loop of decision-making, it was paralyzed.
Right.
And that is how they took decision to take the Air Forces back. So had they grounded had they shot our planes, they would have claimed at that time.
This is what I meant. I mean, their own top military leadership and whatever admissions they made on their own. They were not forced to make those statements. And after the passage of so much of time, now they have started making ridiculous, fabricated claims. And one more thing. The American president, not just one time, but probably more than 24 times, he said that India lost 7 fighter planes. And of course, American president does not rely on the information provided by Pakistan. They have got their own sources of information and intelligence gathering. They know whatever happened between India and Pakistan in the 4-day conflict, the kind of losses Pakistan inflicted. So without any fear of contradiction, President Trump keeps on claiming and telling the world that India lost 7 fighter planes in this limited conflict. And not once Prime Minister Modi rejected those claims. Not once the top Indian military leadership rejected those claims. That qualifies Pakistan's case, that whatever Pakistan claimed was ultimately not only accepted by the Indian leadership, but by the American president as well.
Mr. Judoon, you said it all, yes?
Yeah.
There is no doubt in that. And people are counting also that how many times Mr. Trump has repeated this thing, number one, that he managed a ceasefire or effected a ceasefire or brokered a ceasefire between Pakistan and India during May War between both the countries, number one. Number two, it is not the first time. People say that it is about the 40th time now that he says that he brokered the ceasefire.
Correct.
And 7 planes were shot down. And very rightly said that he would not rely on Pakistani claim. And Pakistan never claimed initially 7. It was actually after...
6.
Pakistan claimed 6.
6-0.
So, yes, 6-0, yes. 6-0, which became very famous also. And I forgot to say one thing about the air superiority, which you said. Yes, I reaffirm that for those 48 hours, Pakistan achieved complete air superiority or mastery of the skies, which is unprecedented, I would say.
And recently some other statements were also made by the Indian political leadership. For example, Rajnath Singh made a statement on Sir Creek, a very provocative and aggressive statement that the path to Karachi goes through Sir Creek. It was, of course, a very rapt threat to Pakistan. And but then they keep on raising one issue or the other. Is there a probability that because their ego was bruised, they believe that they have got a bigger military machine, they have got more weapons, they have got more advanced weapons, and of course they can beat Pakistan in a limited conflict? And this was also pointed out by CDS Chauhan as well, that there is a space in the conventional warfare, in the conventional realm between Pakistan and India. See, they always believe that they can call Pakistan's nuclear bluff. This is what they have been saying. And they can fight a limited conflict, the cold start doctrine and so on and so forth. Ultimately, every doctrine was smashed by Pakistan in just 4 days. And this was witnessed by the entire global community. Now, raising one issue after another, do they have some kind of aggressive posture? This aggressive posturing indicates some aggressive designs as well, because their egos are bruised. They have been, they have got a face not to tell, not to show to the people of India. So can we sort of summarize it in a way that India probably is harboring some aggressive designs against Pakistan?
Thank you so much. I think first of all the Sir Creek. As far as the Sir Creek is concerned, this was a line this was an issue between the state of Junagadh and
Right.
state of Hyderabad, if I remember correctly. Was it Junagadh or which state was that? I'm forgetting, but between Hyderabad and them. So it was in 1924 that boundary was drawn, and about Sir Creek it was decided that its eastern part, which is eastern bank, which is towards Pakistan side, would be the part of Hyderabad state. So Pakistan inherited that. I want to say another thing here. Let's say whether it is the Afghani say whatever they say about the Durand line or this Sar Creek and all that. Before the United Nations came into being, these were boundaries or lines or whatever. But after the United Nations coming into being, all these borders, all these boundaries, all these lines have been recognized as the borders. In case of the Durand line, it was twice that Afghanistan's rulers, amirs, they ratified this. Now coming back to the Sar Creek. Sar Creek, the issue is that in the agreement which was concluded between the two states by the British rulers, there were two things which were written. Number one was the bank or a terminus or a pillar, and there were pillars which were demarcated, erected at those time. And Pakistan says these are the pillars which are the boundary. Now India says there is a word used as thelvek. Thelvek means that the floor or the base of the waterway, middle of that is the boundary.
Right.
Interesting issue is Sar Creek shifts every year. It's shifting. Now, secondly, it is not always, it does not have water always. So it's a tide, it comes and goes. During one day, at one time it is dry and one time it can take their
True.
flood. Secondly, they said that Pakistan is militarizing Sar Creek. Pakistan started having its troops there in somewhere in 2000, 1999, 2000. Pakistan Navy created a coastal command, and now it has 3 battalions there, and they have made an airport and all that, and airfield also. So Pakistan does not have any, so to say, offensive designs from there. It is not at all militarizing that. It is just the defensive posture. And if they want to have some adventure, they are most welcome. But I think they will not be able to. It is not navigable. And this area cannot actually have even the amphibious war there. I have done a lot of research on this, so that is why I was a little longish. And in 1924, the maps were issued, and the maps have the lines drawn, which can be actually used to settle this issue. Secondly, coming over to the war between two nuclear countries, I think this is a very, very important point you made. This is actually a folly. A false understanding. If you remember, Cuban Missile Crisis took place between United States and Russia, or so to say Warsaw Pact countries and NATO, and it was that time that they decided that they will never escalate the situation to that level, because you may say that you will be able to control the war, whether it is cold start war strategy or whatever strategy. As you said, Pakistan has taken all the measures to beat all these strategies. But you should not, or one should not, I mean the countries should not take risk of starting a limited war, because it takes one to start war, then it takes many to end the war. And then during the war, the chain of action or ladder of escalation does not remain in your control. Some accident could happen, some misunderstanding could take place, some such damages could take place which could trigger the nuclear war. So saying this, that they can fight a limited war under the nuclear overhang. I think it is a folly.
A fallacy, and is a very dangerous, to say the least.
Last point I would like to make is about their claims and whether they can undertake some adventure like that or no, whether it is in Sar Creek or on the ground or in the air. Pakistan was never complacent. Pakistan will never be complacent, and every time when they come, they will find a new war being fought by Pakistan military. They will not see the repeat of last war. So Pakistan has already prepared for a new war, for newer surprises for them, And this time they grounded there for 48 hours. Perhaps next time they will ground it for more than 48 hours. And Pakistan will give them such a befitting response, and there will be no restraints this time. Because last time, if you remember, we were talking amongst ourselves also that Pakistan could have downed multiple planes of them and could have caused multiple damages, multiple kind of damages, the economic, the military, the civilian, but Pakistan showed restraint. This time, if they provocate, and if this time they start an aggression, Pakistan doesn't want an aggression, Pakistan doesn't seek a war, but in case if they do, Pakistan's counter-offensive, counter-strikes this time would be devastating, relentless, wide and deep.
And one more thing, after this 4-day conflict with Pakistan, India immediately started a arms acquisition drive, and about $14.5 billion new weapon systems have been ordered. And these orders include, of course, drones and ground-to-surface missiles. And, of course, they have got a separate a deal with Rafale, for Rafale fighter planes, for their carrier-based Rafales. So this massive amount of was being spent on the weapon acquisition program, of course, is not for defensive purposes. If it is not for defensive purposes, then what kind of a design you believe India has? Because the analysts believe that, of course, you also stated in our shows that it will take India another 3 to 5 years to probably to be prepared once again to wage any limited conflict with Pakistan. So a weapon acquisition program is only for the domestic, for playing for the gallery, or they have some kind of aggressive designs in particular against Pakistan.
First of all, the weapon acquisition, roughly about $100 billion contracts are there between India and 5 bigger countries which we named. And India is presently second or third largest buyer of the defense equipment from whole the world. Compare that budget, $86 billion a year, to $10 to $11 billion of Pakistan. Pakistan's military has budget 8 times lesser than them. Right?
86 billion versus 9 or 10 billion.
10 billion, approximately, number one. Number two, Rafales or whatever technology they bring. What matters the most is who is using them. They had the Rafales, and Modi Sahib had said somewhere that if
after 2019,
if he had Rafale, we wouldn't have had this problem. So that means whether it is Rafales, whether it is any aircraft, whether it is F-35 or F-16 or whatever, what matters is, are the forces professional, are they well trained, are the people aware of the technology they have, and are they capable of using that technology effectively? I think they demonstrated what they demonstrated. It was a failure. So any kind of equipment, most welcome, they can bring. Here, I want to bring another point that we made, but perhaps we discussed it last time also, and I want to communicate it through your channel to other people who all are hearing or will hear this, that Pakistan has become a strategic defense partner of Kingdom of Saudi Arabia now.
Correct.
We have a strategic defense agreement with each other. And the major point which has been stated in that is that attack on one country is will be considered as an attack on the second country. So India has its relationship with USA, India has its relationship with KSA, and economical interests are there. They will have to, I think again. This I am replying to your point of preparation and for next war. How many years or months will they take to start another limited war? I think they will now have to think that whether they have to fight with Pakistan or coexist with Pakistan. Because now, if they attack Pakistan, that would mean attacking Saudi Arabia also.
And I mean, the kind of a somersault the Indian Prime Minister has been taking and telling the people of India that I am the leader who takes stand and who stands up to the sole superpower in the world, that is the United States of America, and his President Donald Trump, when it came to the purchase of oil from Russia. Now, President Trump last night himself stated that Indian Prime Minister has agreed to stop buying the Russian oil. I mean, this is the kind of a leader we are talking about, and the Indian people need to understand the kind of a stuff he has. He is just a clown, not more than that. He does the posturing, he gives the statements, and projects himself as a formidable leader, not only in India but at the global stage. And then all of a sudden he crumbles under the pressure of 50% tariffs and says, well. And now the other dimension is ditching Russia. Russia, they always believed and they always told the people of India and the people of the world that Russia is the most reliable partner of India. So at this critical juncture, when India wanted to become part of this new realignment along with China and Russia, ditches Russia.
Good. Thank you so much. I think it's a very, very fine question. First of all, about India, Mr. Modi and his, so to say, his ability to stand the pressures and all that. They have been bulwark of 25 years for United States. Very proudly, they became so-called strategic partners.
Correct.
The net security provider in Indo-Pacific. They became member of Quad, they became member of AUKUS, they started IMAC and so many other things. And very proudly they were standing with the America, and not standing with the America, working under American influence and getting the help
as a
from
policeman.
them, as a policeman, as a regional policeman, or a bulwark of their policy. So it is a false claim that they were actually they were standing against any power. Rather, they were benefiting whatever the way was. Number one. Number two, about the Russia. When they were importing Russian oil, I think during the Biden administration, it was condoned by the Biden administration because of the two reasons. Number one, they thought that they are the strategic partner and they were declared net security provider for them. And secondly, perhaps they gave them, if you remember, they were given official waiver for importing oil from Iran even. And America looked the other way when this came to their own interest. But Biden is one of those people who is very straightforward. Number one, he doesn't want to spend money on others' wars. Secondly, he wants to build his own country, make America great again. We had discussed this, and he wants that whatever oil is being imported from Russia by India, refined and sold to Europe, why shouldn't it go from United States of America? And third point is, last point is that he says that this money fuels the war in Ukraine, and he wanted to end this war, and he thinks that Putin is not listening to him, and it is only because that he is getting lots of money from here and there, and especially India. Now, coming over to the point which you said, that they have now indicated that they'll stop buying oil from Russia.
Yeah, this has been stated by President Trump that Modi has made a promise with me that they will stop buying Russian oil.
I think they will have to, because, as I was saying, their economic interests are intertwined with multiple countries, especially EU, KSA, and Middle Eastern countries, and United States of America. So they will have to guard their interest, and to get rebate in the tariffs, I think they will have to listen to Mr. Trump.
Even in our shows, when the SCO was taking place, we particularly highlighted this aspect that Modi is not to be trusted by China. Modi's country is a Trojan horse of every regional grouping, be that SCO or BRICS or whatever. And ultimately, this is what happened, because he just wanted the photo op opportunity in China, just to tell President Trump that, well, we have got the option of getting closer to Beijing and become part of another alignment which is taking place along with Russia, China, and India, and Iran, of course. And now the apprehensions expressed in our shows have proven right, and India ultimately has once again proved that it's not a country to be relied upon as far as regional alliances are concerned, as you mentioned, be that Quad or AUKUS, etc. Now, even AUKUS is almost finished because President Trump has indicated that he would not be attending the summit in New Delhi later this year. So the trust level, or rather the trust deficit, has definitely increased between China and India as well, with this somersault.
Ji, thank you so much. First of all, the somersaults, I think that is a very, very important expression you make. I think it is somersault and contradictions in Modi's policies. He says something, he claims something, he brags actually, he does the chest thumping like a gorilla, and
56-inch chest statement.
but ultimately then he compromises behind the scenes. Another somersault which they made was about welcoming the Taliban recently. On one side they had been speaking against Taliban, speaking against Islam.
Correct.
They are acting against Muslims, and on the other hand they are shaking hand with the Taliban. So this is again
and how the media they have changed their tone and tenor against regarding Taliban.
But from within the country, if you see, there is lots of criticism on him. And if you remember, Ajit Doval had used these words some 15 years back, that Deoband will be used to control Taliban's of Afghanistan.
Correct.
Against Pakistan. So they are working on that. But coming back to China and distrust and all, China is a very, very different country, I think. China is a civilizational state. I don't know whether we had time to talk about it. Very briefly, best of the best time when China was the 5th largest world power. They never had any annexations, no territories claimed, no territories annexed, no colonies made. At that time, even their relationship with the other countries were based on the trade concession, and they called it tributary system.
Right.
And even now, if you see President Xi's policy, China's policy,
the BRI,
Belt and Road Initiative, and similarly other things, the Global Defense Initiative, Security Initiative, Civilization Initiative, everything is related to the mutual coexistence respectfully. Correct. And mutual benefit. So that is how they don't speak too much. They don't speak too much. But India cannot hide their contempt, and Modi could not hide their contempt even in SCO. After the SCO summit, he did not participate in their parade. He did not have the heart to sit there and see what was being demonstrated. So he made a show off, I would say, and then he exited China. So China exactly knows who is friend, who is foe, but they are very, very great civilization state. They are very subtle in their actions. They are quiet and they are very patient, and they don't speak much. They act at the time of need.
One more setback which New Delhi received in the wake of, in the aftermath of 4-day conflict with Pakistan. As you pointed out earlier, that India was part of the US policy, containment policy against China, or rather was being used as a bulwark against China. But all of a sudden, every pillar of US strategy and every pillar of Modi's strategy is crumbling down now because of the outcome of the 4-day conflict. India was being seen as a net security provider. Rather, it was the kind of a wrong notion which New Delhi was projecting about itself, that India is a country, given its size, population, and its GDP growth rate, and the military power, naval, air, and ground forces, is able to play that particular role of China containment policy. But now even the China containment policy has literally crumbled down in the wake of the 4-day conflict, and President Trump has stopped believing that India is the country which can play that particular role. So serious setback in the Indo-Pacific region as well.
No doubt in that, whatever you said, that they have tested them. Actually, this was the bully, this was the policeman, this was the bulwark they had prepared, and this was the time to test perhaps. Actually, if you remember, J.D. Vance has said, and President Trump had also said, that the both countries will sort themselves out the issue which is at their hand. they perhaps thought that India is too strong and it will teach a lesson to Pakistan. And perhaps India will be able to strike Pakistan and come out clean and win and all that. But they were disappointed, number one. Number one is this disappointment. But I think I'll take it to more depth in a way that when President Trump came, he has inherited an economy which is in deficit, and $1 trillion a year perhaps is the deficit which is coming to economy. Jobs are in a precarious situation is there, jobs, the price escalation, and similarly the security situation in the country, and economy is poor. So President Trump's focus was that he will make America great again, and America great means that economy should be improved, number one. Number two, he thought that America is spending lots of money on the wars and others' wars. Thirdly, he thought that America is spending too much in NATO, so he asked the NATO members to increase their contribution and double it up. They have agreed from 2.5 to 5%. So this is, I think, the background of whole thing, that why this whole edifice of Asian security paradigm, you may say, or the Indo-Pacific or Asia-Pacific is crumbling.
Which was changed because they wanted to appease
because
India.
they use India-Pacific, but for us it is Asia-Pacific. So from US point of view, Indo-Pacific; from our point of view, Asia-Pacific strategy is actually now in a way doomed, because President Trump does not want to fuel wars and doesn't want to spend money on these things. He very proudly claims that he has secured 13 trillion investment for United States already, and he stopped Apple from investing $5 billion in India. So that is what his focus is. He will not like to spend money on the others' war. Maybe he may let other fight, but not fight them.
Thank you so much, General Raza Mohammed, for your time in our studio. Listeners, we discussed the very outrageous, outlandish and fabricated statement made by India's Director General Military Operations, saying that Pakistan's 12 fighter planes, were destroyed in this conflict, the limited conflict of 4 days between India and Pakistan, while on the contrary, their own Chief of Defense Staff and the Deputy Chief of Army Staff admitted losing Indian planes. And CDS of India admitted that we did lose, though he said number doesn't matter. What matters is why these planes were destroyed. And secondly, he talked about deployment of naval forces and said that Pakistan was the country which wanted to have a ceasefire because we threatened them from because of our naval forces as well. The Air Chief also made a very ridiculous statement that 7 Pakistan's fighter planes were destroyed in the air and on the ground, and now this number has gone up to 12. Outrageous, outlandish, fabricated claims being made by the Indian military leadership to appease the political leadership, rather the Hindutva leadership in India, a professional army of India, which is a nuclear state, making such statements, making themselves a laughingstock in the world, and being not being taken seriously by anyone in the world. Thank you so much for listening to our show. Saying Allah Hafiz, Javed Khan Jadoon.